Guys, this is a briefing session for SEMM3941 Lab 3 for module for lab fluid. Right, so I'm going to brief you a little bit of your things that you basically need to do for this 4 weeks of lab duration for this lab. Sharing the screen. Basically, so this is for section 3 and 4. Originally, you are under the supervision of Professor Sharulai. I will be running this lab on behalf of him, basically. All right, and the lab staff here is Mr. Darul Hilmi. So you can see from here, you are very much grouped into group A and B, where you have 6 group in group A and another 6 group in group B. All right, so what are you going to do for this particular lab is that, yes, this is more or less what we have. This is lab 3, all right. So it's going to be a problem or project-based learning lab. It's not going to be a well-guided lab as lab 1 or lab 2. So as this is a problem-based approach, so you are going to be given just a problem. All right, so for this particular lab, basically you are going to have to sit in group. You have to figure out what you need to do in order to solve the problem, and of course propose your solution. So you have to very much figure out what are the steps that you need to do in order to solve the problem. What are the tools that you need to have in order to solve the problem? It can be software, it can be hardware. It can be things in the lab, it can be software from the internet. You have to propose your own ways, your own solution, and your own method to the given problem. All right, and then basically I'm going to just simply go through the implementation plan. We have the first week, which very much cover the project briefing, and then after this briefing, basically you will just get in group. You have to discuss about the problem. You have to try to understand the problem, and then come out with the approach and what are the methods, what are the solution, and of course you have to work on the design. All right, and next week we are going to meet live during the lab time. So I'm going to see presentation from each group, or 5-minute to 10-minute presentation from each group, proposing the design and the solution. And of course, we are going to have some discussion on what I'm going to do next. All right. And then in the third week, we're going to have the same project progress presentation. And from there, hopefully, we can conclude and you can submit the report at the end of the fourth week. All right. And of course, with the presentation. So what you need to do basically, because here I have listed 3 projects in which for the first project, for example, we have the title and the groups that are basically involved in this project. All right. So for the first project title, we will have 4 groups working on the same project, for example. For the second title, we are going to have another 4 groups working on this very same project. All right, and we have also the third title, 4 group will be working. All right, the same project, but guys, please don't, all 4 group don't sit together and come up with the same thing. All right, all 4 group, you sit in your own respective group and you come up with your own approach and solution. I was hoping to see a different approach and different solution. Even though there are certain degree of similarity, I can understand that. All right. So basically, for the first one, The title is 30-meter sky dancer balloon. Basically, you can see down here, sky dancer balloon is, you know, something like this. You know, you can basically get a typical size, but for this particular DBL lab, I'm giving you a problem of how to design a 30-meter standing sky dancer balloon. All right, so sky dancer balloon basically takes many shapes. You can propose your own, you know, as simple as a straight line, or you can basically propose human shape or any animal shape sky dancer balloon. All right, but the height must be 30-meter basically. All right, so what you need to do is you have to analyze the working principle of the existing sky dancer system, because down here you basically have the blower, so you have to basically analyze and understand the volume of basically air that are being pumped to the whole system to make this thing standing. So you have to basically understand the power of this thing, the amount of air, the flow rate that basically goes up, and how does this simple mechanism put this balloon in standing. All right, and then you have to describe the underlying theories and mathematical model of the fluid, sorry, the airflow, the pressure of at any identified points in the design of that Skydancer balloon that you basically have chosen. All right, and then when you have when you gather the theories and you put in all the mathematical model or functions that are basically involved, I need you to identify the important points of you know, in and on the balloon itself. Um, I need you to measure the. I need you to basically specify what are the parameters that you are measuring at what point, and using the analytical approach, I need you to basically I would say calculate the parameters. And then what you need to do next is that design and fabricate the upscale model. For number one and number two, basically you can work on the existing design and size that you can find in the market. Number three is we work on the upscale design on the 30-meter heights, sky dancer balloon design. All right, and then design, fabricate, upscale model, collect experimental data, and verify the model. This one basically, I just need you to, if you can come to the lab, yes, we can basically fabricate and we do some experiments. But if you cannot come to the lab, basically you can do the calculation, getting other parameters using the analytic approach. All right, we will see what we need in order to get this 30-meter balloon of your design upstanding. All right, so basically you have to know what are the amount of pressure that you need throughout your design, and what are the amount of blower that you need to supply the right amount of airflow and pressure to the system. So that's very much for the first one. For the second one is the RAM pump. I have some reference for you if you want to go and look more about what is RAM pump. You can basically Google online about this RAM pump. So there will be 4 groups involved. So what I need to do is to analyze the working principle of the existing RAM pump system, describe the underlying theories and mathematical models involved, and I want you to identify the points for parametric measurement, calculate using an analytic approach that you have identified in points number 1, the theories and the mathematical model. And then again, if you can come to the lab, you can fabricate the model and collect the data. Sorry, number 3, we are going to number 1 and number 2. Basically, you have to select the existing ramp pump system, the existing dimension. You can analyze and work on the analysis on the existing system. For number 3, I want you to double the capacity of the pump and try to see what kind of changes do you need for the design, meaning that you have to come up with a new upscale design of the ramp pump system in order to double the capacity of the pumping. That is more or less for number 2. For number 3 is we are going to work more on the simulation, the wind tunnel object simulation. We will basically involve group B3, B4, B5, and B6. All right, again, for title number 2 ramp pump A5, A6, B1, B2. There are many type of ramp pump design. Try to work on different design for each group. Yeah, okay. For number 3 object of wind tunnel simulation, the objective is basically to determine the dynamic drag coefficient and lift coefficient of 3 different surface of cylinder. All right, so the length diameter of 3 cylinders is 200 mm and 60 mm. You can see for project, for project 2, this is more or less the diagram of the ramp pump. You will have the supply tank, you will have the waste valve, you have the air chamber, and this is basically the QD and the HD that the ramp pump are very much able to deliver. So in this diagram, you more or less have the parameters that you need to study and to measure and to model. All right. So when I said just now, we have to, for item number 3, in which we design and fabricate the upscale model to basically double the capacity, I was referring to QD and the HD here, the head and the flow rate. All right, from whatever design that you can get for item number 1 and number 2. Right. Okay, for wind tunnel object simulation, this is the type of cylinder that we will be working with. The size is here. Okay, so we have the first cylinder, smooth surface, all right, without anything. The second type, we have horizontal hot glue gun line as some kind of object, some kind of additional things on the surface. All right, and number 3, vertical. The hot glue gun is applied vertical to the x-axis around the cylinder. So these are the 3 things that you basically need for the object test. All right, and the wind speed for the simulation is from 5 to 25, so meaning that you have to do the different wind speed of 5 millisecond, 5 meter per second, 10 meter per second, 15, 20, and 25 meter per second. And the simulation will be basically performed using ANSYS Fluent software, in which the software I will be giving the link into the WhatsApp group, into the Telegram group. All right, so you have 4 basically groups, so you are very much to be working on the same thing. Let's try to see what kind of value that we will basically have for each group. All right, so this project number 3 is basically the experimental data actually have been obtained from one experiment. So we have run the test in the lab using the cylinder. Then we have the data in the table in which the drag coefficient and the lift coefficient for each for different wind speed for each 3 cylinders. All right, so we have the experimental data, and what we need is the simulated data from the simulation that you will be running. All right, so I think more or less this is the information for the briefing for you guys. If you have anything, you can basically ask me personally, and of course, if you don't understand, we can have separate live session, maybe together with all these 4 group for any of this title, or maybe your own group. You can basically ask me to have one session for just for your group, so that you can get more understanding and all that. All right, guys, thank you very much. That's all for now for the briefing session. Thank you very much. Bye bye.